This is I Kept Silent on the Metal Mania Show. Welcome.
What's up, man? How's it going, dude?
Very good, man. I appreciate you calling into the show.
Dude, not a problem at all. I appreciate you having us. Did I hear you say Dark Sermon on that State Theater show?
That's exactly right, my friend.
Heck yeah. We played several shows with those guys. Those are friends of ours. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's very cool, man. How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good, man. We're doing great. It's been a very long day, but we're about to go home and write a little bit and play some Destiny. Yeah, we got this new video game called Destiny. I'm sure you've heard about it.
I have, and it's winning critical acclaim. So I'm curious to see, apparently it's made by the people that did Halo, which is really cool.
Yeah, so, made by Bungie, of course, and that's actually the only game me and Ryan play is really Halo, so we were really excited when we heard Bungie was making a new game.
That's really neat, man. All right, first question, and this is the one that I've been thinking about most. Where did you come up with the name I Kept Silent?
So that actually came from a mixture of ideas, actually. It was a mixture of ideas. The idea originally came back when I was actually looking real deep into finding my faith and reading the Bible, and I actually came across a verse that kind of struck me, which, of course, had I Kept Silent in it. Now, that doesn't relate back to it, but it's got a lot of great ideology behind it that ties us real well into everything that we stand for, which is kind of cool. A little story behind that is the reason it struck us is we were in a band previously before I Kept Silent, and one of the problems we had is we kept silent about a lot of the issues that were going on in our old band and with things in our life, and eventually it blew up in our face because we decided not to speak out. So when he came across that verse, it was like it really struck him. Yeah, it was definitely really cool to kind of see that come out of nowhere, and it just made a lot of sense right there, and everyone seemed to like it, so it kind of stuck with us.
Well, that's very cool. I want to give you guys props for proclaiming your Christianity. One thing that our listeners are aware of, I have a co-host that normally is on the show with me named Brian. We're both devout Christians, and we proclaim that very profusely on the show. Now, we do have bands that are secular. Most are, such as Cannibal Corpse, Gargamel, Hellwitch even. But, metal is metal, and it's really about getting the sound out there and getting the show, out there. And sometimes, you have to incorporate basically, which equivalates to me, talking to people's level, and metal, what you guys are doing, it speaks to people emotionally. Music is a language of its own, and I really I dig that you're. It seems as if you're a Christian band, and it's really really cool that you've delved into the metal scene, and that you're bringing in that clientele of fans through your music, and it's very important.
Thank you, man. No, yeah, and the name, like I said, the name came about while I was definitely diving deep into my faith of being a follower of Christ. Now, I'm a follower of Christ myself, and when I was looking through, the Bible and trying to figure out just kind of what was what, that's when that came about. But we are a mixture, actually, in the band. There are some of us. Even me, I'm Andre's brother. I'm not personally a Christian. We're just a mix of all different types and walks of life, but it doesn't make sense for people to not get along and not get together depending on religious beliefs. It really doesn't make sense. So a lot of the EP was written a lot by me as far as the lyrics go, and we had a lot of input on from everyone. And like I said, since there was a mixture, there was definitely a lot of religious kind of faithful lyrics in there, and I think it was really awesome. It was a really good start for us, and I'm really excited to kind of see what comes about on the album, seeing as how we've got going to have a few different members on that. There we have different writers, people writing from agnostic perspectives, such as myself, faith-driven perspectives, whatever.
Although it doesn't, in the end, we're in a band together. Me and Andre, we're brothers. We still get along. So that's one thing that's really cool about us. Even though we come from different views, we all come together and write this music that we love and hang out together, and it's totally cool. And we never at each other's throats because one of us thinks a little different than the other.
Well, that's great. You really have a great product that comes with those different views spiritually, and it really is cool. I really dig it. I actually attend church with our co-host that's normally on the show, and the church is in Lakeland, Florida, where I'm based, and it's called the Mad Hatter Sanctuary. Well, the Mad Hatter is a concert venue that started years ago, which turned awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. We're not just a church, but a concert venue, but we're also a church. And we have members that are atheists, homeless, people that are not of faith whatsoever. And we really, really work well. And that really seems to come off in your band as well. And I really commend you for that.
No, that's awesome. It's really awesome to see that going on just as well everywhere else. I mean, it's something that we've seen. Of course, we all went through high school and we saw different cliques, whether it was just for like looks or even if it was just for religious perspectives as well. And I saw a huge diversion there. And as soon as I got out of high school, I saw it everywhere else around me. And it's not necessary. It really isn't.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Tell me, who are you guys' major influences growing up? What makes this sound? Who did you guys listen to?
That's funny.
I think right off the first ever band that I ever listened.
Oh wait, that's actually a really funny question. We just did an interview with another guy that asked us the same question, and we went through three of our major influences with him too. I think Ryan's about to say what those were.
The very first one that ever caught our attention towards any heavy music was Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, hearing it on the radio, and screaming. And at first, I didn't like it. I was taken off guard. I was like, this is so angry. But then eventually appealed to the same fact that it was so angry. And so that caught us. And then right after Linkin Park came Under Oath, and that Under Oath really got us into
Under Oath
heavy music.
drove it home for me. I mean, they own the title of what is my favorite album, Define the Gray Line. I can confidently say over any other album I've ever heard. And
definitely are an amazing band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was the band that got us into heavy music.
Those are the two bands that definitely got us into heavy music. There's a third artist. I don't know if you're ready for this, but the artist who completely changed our views of how music is to be written and portrayed live and performed live and just produced on that next level. And even as far as just structure and vocal talent goes. And it's actually an artist called The Weeknd. And he...
oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, completely changed the way we see everything for the better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've gotten a lot into kind of R&B music as well, hip-hop. We're obviously still listening to heavy music, but we've taken recently a lot more influence from other genres as well that we've been listening to, aside from heavy music.
That's going to be fun.
That's very, 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 very cool. Give me a brief history of your band. How did you guys come together?
Well, obviously, me and Ryan kind of had to live with each other. So, but we started off. I started off playing drums a little here and there, and then it didn't work out. Played bass, and then that didn't work out, and so I moved my way over to vocals and guitar, and that's kind of still where I'm at. But and Ryan picked up drums after that.
Yeah, I tried picking up guitar. It didn't make sense. Bass didn't make sense. Drums didn't make sense at first, but with some motivation of my dad, who's also a drummer, I eventually caught on and just kept on. I remember Under Oath was actually one of the bands that first I was like, I really want to learn this on drums. So
Under Oath and As I Lay Dying.
Yeah, As I Lay Dying too. And I pursued that, and eventually I knew those songs. I remember one of the first things I learned on drums was not rudiments, it was double bass, because I was like, I just want to know how to make that awesome noise.
Dude, he was the kid in fourth grade with skinny jeans, long hair, and As I Lay Dying T-shirt, and playing the drums at the talent show.
All right. Well, now that you brought that up, As I Lay Dying, which is a very controversial subject right now.
Oh yeah.
What do you guys think about what's going on, and especially with Tim Lambesis? Do you think the band's going to continue in your perspective?
Well, they just announced. I mean, I can't really touch on the Tim controversy just because that's kind of his battle to face. But as far as As I Lay Dying, they just released the Wovenmore. I always want to say Woven More. With the singer, the clean vocalist from Oh Sleeper, Shane Blay.
All of the original musicians of As I Lay Dying. So I guess they just changed their name, new singer. The music is basically the same, but it's all clean vocals.
It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I love it. I bought the album.
Yeah, we bought the album the first day.
Yeah, I think so. The first week it came out, we bought it, and I've been jamming it. I love it. But
that's great. I had no idea. I did not know that they had did that. So that just made me look forward to something after this show to listen to. That's awesome.
Definitely check it out, man. It is something worth checking out. It is heavy and powerful in the way that Shane uses his vocals, just like he does in Oh Sleeper. He uses it just tenfold on that album because it's all him, and it is phenomenal.
Oh, that's very cool, man. I'm glad you set me up for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, Ryan, I want to ask you this. We're about to go into the first song by you guys. We got two of them. The first one I want to play is called To Wander the Desert. Ryan, can you give me kind of like a description of this song and what it's based around? What's the thing about the song here?
The theme of the song?
Yeah, the theme of the song.
I think I remember. I think who wrote that song? Was it me? Was it you?
That was me.
I think I might have a little bit of input. The theme of the song is really, I think it's kind of being lost, being driven away by. I hate saying falsettos, so I hate that term, but being leadden away in life by people who might steer you wrong, whether it be by your own arrogance, I think, but eventually finding yourself, or maybe having someone else who finds you and shows you the way, which is kind of like the idea of the song, To Wander the Desert. You're wandering the desert, you really have no idea where to go, but eventually, somewhere or another, you find your way out, whether it be by finding yourself, someone else finding you. I think that's really the theme of the song.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that?
I mean, I could. That song was actually, it was funny you asked Ryan in particular about that one. That song was really my song, my baby, that I kind of took hold, and we had that song. We were just kind of like, we didn't know what to do with it. We weren't sure if we were going to use it or not, but I took it and I just kind of sat down with it for a couple nights, and all I remember is like going back and forth over and over. I have a little home studio at home, it was a lot less then than it is now, but just kind of sitting down and just going over some different verses and some lines that I liked, and ended up coming up with a neat little story that I liked. I really felt with the music, and that one pretty much came out on top with me writing it with our guitarist at the time and singer Jacob, who had pretty much all the input on the chorus there.
Oh, very cool. Well, Andre, I'm glad that you gave me that description because you did, and because I know this is your song. I would like, if you would, to go ahead and introduce this for our 10,000 listeners that are listening right now. Please, if you would, introduce this song for us.
Hey, well, I Kept Silent. My name is Andre. This is Ryan.
My name is Ryan.
And this is To Wander the Desert.
Okay, once again, that was I Kept Silent with To Wander the Desert. Amazing song. And I want to welcome back to the show from I Kept Silent, Andre and Ryan Tempfer. Amazing song, guys.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, just unique. Very good. Very, very cool.
Hey, man.
I want to ask you about the recording process for your EP, Precision of the Voyager, which is available right now on iTunes and Bandcamp. Was that an easy studio transition process? Did that flow well? Was it easy to do that?
Actually, it went extremely well, yeah. Precision of the Voyager was recorded in Orlando, Florida by our good friend Doug High. And we kind of hit him up, and he gave us a ridiculously awesome price that we could have ever asked for to get 8 songs.
8-song EP.
Yeah, 8 songs on an EP at the quality that we had it at, or that we have it at. And we started off day one. We
got all the drums finished and all the bass finished. So all the rhythm sections for the EP finished one day.
Knocked out one day, super fast. It was seamless. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
and
wow.
then we did it in a span of 3 weekends because we all have jobs and school and everything. So we did the first weekend we did drum and bass, and we started on the rhythm guitar. And the next weekend we went back and did I think the rest of rhythm, or I think we did leads and maybe started on vocals, I'm pretty sure. And then our last weekend was just kind of all focusing on vocals, complete vocal focus, and even like little special effects we have throughout the whole album and everything. And then we wrapped it up with the Decatur Build, finishing off the chorus on Decatur Build.
Which was very cool.
On the EP, yeah.
Do you guys got any favorite memories so far as your career as a band? Anything that kind of stands out on stage as far as the shows you've done so far? Any kind of favorite memory that you can tell the listeners about?
I think my personal crazy experience I've ever had, I think, in the career of this band is we played Welcome to Rockville Fest in Jacksonville with Alice in Chains, Leonard Skinner, Shinedown, Whitechapel,
Motionless in White,
Acting
Alexandria. I mean, you name it, they were there. It was ridiculous.
Wow. Oh man, and we played on a stage that was about the size of the main stage at Warped Tour. We had like 30 monitors, roadies. I had never experienced, people carrying around my gear for me. This is crazy. It's unknown, unheard of thought. So that was absolutely mind-blowing.
Best part about that was going backstage behind the main stage. And, oh, man, I have a picture on my phone. I wish I could show it to you guys. It is this picture of all these tables behind the stage. Literally, there's stage, and then behind the stage are all these white-cloaked tables with this buffet of food set up for all the
fine dining.
There was fine dining set up for all the bands. And, you go up, you get your food, you eat, and, while you're eating, right to your left or to your right or whatever is a band playing in front of a crowd of thousands and thousands of people, and you're just sitting here eating right behind them. It was spectacular.
Amazing. Absolutely changed the way I've thought about music.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we could do this, is what that is,
I asked that question too. That's the one question that I ask in every interview. That's one of the better answers I've ever heard, man. I really am just amazed. That's awesome. Let me ask you this. What do you guys got any pre-show rituals? A lot of bands, they'll carry something in their pocket. They'll say a prayer. They'll listen to their iPod with nobody around. Do you guys have any of those kind of pre-show rituals that you do?
We practice.
Yeah.
I eat.
Ryan eats a lot of food, and he gets really sick, and he doesn't want to play anymore.
That is not how that works.
I know. I can only speak for myself. I have vocal warm-ups that I do. I'm very, very strict on my vocal warm-ups. watched my girlfriend at the time a couple of years ago bought me the Melissa Cross DVDs on the Zen of Screaming, and oh my gosh, did that change the way that I do every single thing, and her warm-ups are spectacular. So I started doing those, and I still do them to this day. I was actually doing them about an hour or so before I called you. And, just keeping your vocals up every single day, but especially before you go on stage is, super important for me. I usually do my warm-ups and then do like a song or two just to make sure I got all the juices flowing right. And then, hit the stage.
Well, that's very cool. Okay, well, I'm ready to go ahead and go into the second song by you guys. Andre, your baby song was To Wander the Desert. Ryan, I want to ask you about this next song, Decay Rebuild. What is the vision behind this song?
This song actually was kind of a last-minute song. We kind of had like an intro, we had some chords, but it really just came together in the studio. And that was the first time. The first studio time. Yeah. We were in the studio twice for the EP. The first time didn't work out, but either way, it was a last-minute song, and we were on like a last day, last hour, and I remember tracking drums. I was tracking drums, and I went through I kind of BS'd like a whole song, and we went and put guitar over it, and it turned into like one of my favorite songs on the EP. It turned into a super, super kind of epic type of song, as I would describe it. And so it's very last minute, but I feel like that's kind of part of like what's so great about this song is that it was put together last minute, but it has a very epic kind of feel to it as far as the chords and the melody goes.
It was definitely made with spur of the moment emotion, I guess you could say, and I think that really shows in the song.
That's brilliant. Okay, well, I want to say, guys, it's been a real honor to have you on the show. I want you to call in anytime. I want you to keep me informed on all of your releases, and we're going to just promote it as soon as you let me know. Before we go into this next song, I also want to ask you, do you have any announcements that you'd like to tell the listeners, any upcoming shows or any new releases that you'd like to make them informed about?
Well, there's so much stuff, and there's so little I can say right now. All I can say is just keep your ears peeled, keep your eyes and your ears peeled, actually. We're writing an album right now, and we've got 1, 2, 3 really cool things coming up, and I wish I could say more, but it should be happening pretty soon. So I really appreciate you having us on this show, man.
It's been awesome.
It has been super cool, and you're super easy to talk to. So thank you very much. Like I said, watch out.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, likewise, and I'm an instant fan. I got to say it. Ryan, before we cut this interview out, would you please introduce this next song to the listeners?
This song is Decay Rebuild off of the Procession of the Voyager. We are I Kept Silent. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Here we go, Decay Rebuild. All right, once again, that was I Kept Silent with Decay Rebuild. Amazing band, awesome interview. I cannot wait, literally, to have that band back on the show. Very cool.